one of the biggest financial changes in the financial environment in the last 20 years is this massive increase in all asset prices. And really, all that does is it cements the inequality between people who own wealth, who own the assets, and people who don't.
But is that their fault? Like, there might
the fault of the wealth holders.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I don't point fingers at individual wealth holders. I don't point fingers at individual householders. You know what I mean? I am a wealthy person. You know what I mean? If I were to say this is the fault of all wealthy people, you know, what am I going to go do? Jump off a cliff? Listen, this is our fault as a society. We need to fix this as a society. I don't think we get anywhere by pointing fingers. You know, I can point the finger at Rishi Sunak as much as I want to say, oh, it's your fault. It's Boris Johnson. That don't get us nowhere. That don't get us nowhere. The truth of the matter is, increasingly, ordinary families in this country can't fucking heat their fucking homes in the winter. And that's, you know, I reckon there's 50% of this country now that are worried about food and heat. And that number's increasing, okay? It's not the time to be deciding who the villain is. You know what I mean? You know, if your car's driving off the cliff, you don't turn around and start calling each other a dickhead. You fucking turn that wheel. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to do.
We would. It's your fault.
But yeah, you know, I do what I do because I want to fix it, you know. And,
How can we fix it then? Can we get into this? Like,
you need to, so I get people on my channel sometimes say, oh, this guy's a communist because he wants to redistribute, okay? I am not the one trying to redistribute. The redistribution is fucking happening, okay? The middle class, ordinary property owners and the government are fucking getting bankrupted. And where is that wealth going? Who is that debt to? The super rich. It's happening. It's happening. COVID saw the biggest and fastest ever increase in wealth of millionaires and billionaires in the history of this country. Just get your head around that. So during the period of time when living standards have had their fastest fall since the Second World War, simultaneously we've had the biggest and fastest ever increase in wealth of millionaires and billionaires. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense, right? Because if you pause the economy, and in that 2-3 years where you've paused the economy, you massively increase inequality, what do you fucking expect is going to happen when you unpause? Of course, you know, inequality is way higher now, and the reality of the economy has to shift. If inequality is higher, the rich get more, you get less. The redistribution is happening. It is happening. And that means you don't have a house. That means you have to pay more rent. You know what I mean? That means you have higher debt, which means you have to pay more interest, which means it's even harder to catch up. So the redistribution is happening in front of our eyes. I'm saying, stop it. I'm saying, stop it. We have to, you know, I don't say tax the rich because I hate rich people. I fucking am a fucking rich person. I say tax the rich because if we don't tax the rich, then they will take all of the wealth of the middle class and the government. The government will be bankrupted, no fucking NHS, no fucking free schooling, and the middle class will be bankrupted. And I think, you know, you've got links to Nigeria, right? You know what's going on there, right? Yeah. I think a lot of people in this country naively assume that the kind of living standards that are seen in a place like Nigeria cannot happen here. Go and read fucking Charles Dickens. You know what I mean? Go read fucking Oliver Twist. It fucking happened. It fucking happened, and it can happen again. Listen, hugely unequal countries have extremely low living standards. Inequality is rising extremely quickly here in this country. If we do not prevent that from rising, we will see the kind of living standards here that are common in places like Nigeria and places like Brazil.
To counter that, I'm only playing devil's advocate. Yeah. I got you on the podcast because I like your message. So
yeah, no,
I don't want to get I know the comments will be like, this guy. Yeah. Like, many economists or much data would say, as a wider global trend, have living standards improved over the last 20, 30 years? And I think they probably have, apart from over the last 24 months where they've collapsed again.
Well, listen,
right?
I don't want to shit on boomers, right? My dad worked for the post office 35 years, okay? No university degree. My mum was largely a stay-at-home mum. She did a bit of childminding, you know what I mean? They're not educated people, you know. Cool, I love my parents. They don't have no special talents, right? On that, they managed to raise 3 kids. They own their own property now. They live in comfortable retirement. You know, they moved down to Sussex. Is that possible now for 2 people? No. Mother staying at home.
There's actually a lot of boomers that are better off in retirement than they were when they were working.
So like, I think, don't get me wrong, I think the big picture true situation is most of history, most of the world, living standards for most people are shit. We had a period of time, largely in the West, it wasn't international, Europe, North America, some place like Japan, Australia, 50s, 60s, particularly 70s, 80s, 90s, early noughties, where ordinary people were living decent lives. decent homes, decent car, take a holiday here and there. I'm not saying it was luxury. I think the truth is the last 20 years, especially the last 15 years, has been a story of us slowly and increasingly quickly losing that.
So do you think we're at the top of the hill? We've got all the gains.
I think we were at the top of the hill probably 20 years ago, if I'm being honest. I think that living standards have, of course, some things have improved. We have the internet, we've got Wikipedia. I fucking love Wikipedia, you know what I mean? But, you know, I think most young people you speak to would rather have a fucking house. There's two places you can live in the world now. A place where you can't afford a house and a place where you can't get a decent job. So
well, you could go to Newcastle and houses are cheap, but the work employment
the salary is low.
It's not
so,
there.
you know, it's hard.
It all matches. It's all relative.
I talk about life at the 50th percentile. You're like bog standard person in the middle, exactly average life. The truth is that life in the UK 20 years ago, I'm not saying it was luxury, but there was comfort there. And there was a level of security there. Honestly now, at the 50th percentile now, there's struggle.
100%. I earn good money with my partner, and I still felt the energy bill going up to 400 quid. And we're earning about an amount of money that is like well above average. And I'm thinking, if the average is in the median, the mean, whatever average you want to take, put me on that income and plonk me in my life, I couldn't live. There would have to be a serious downgrade in the quality of life.
It's hard.
Yeah.
We all watch The Simpsons. Well, I don't know if you might be a bit too serious for The Simpsons.
I've dabbled.
I'm familiar with Homer. There was like a meme and it said like The Simpsons in 1970. He was just like a minimum wage guy working in a power plant, and he's got like a 2-3 bedroom house, and his wife is just a stay-at-home mum. That dream is not possible in America like today.
And I don't think many ordinary people will disagree with you there, you know. I think some older people, they get some messages in the media like things are getting better.
Yeah.
But I think you talk to anybody under 40, I don't think they really believe things have been getting better.
If you want to watch the full interview with Gary Stevenson, then you can get it right here.